It was a Saturday morning when the Johnson family decided to clean the old attic of their house. The house was big, with creaky wooden floors and windows that whistled whenever the wind blew. For years, the attic had been nothing more than a place for dusty boxes and forgotten furniture. Today, said Mrs. Johnson, clapping her hands, we're finally going to make this attic useful. Maybe a study room or a playroom for the kids. Ethan, who was 10, and his little sister Lily, who was 7, groaned. They had hoped for a day in the park, not hours of sneezing over cobwebs. Their father, Mr. Johnson, laughed at their faces. Come on, adventurers. Who knows? Maybe we'll find treasure. Those words made Ethan's eyes light up. Treasure? Now this was interesting. Lily skipped behind him, clutching her teddy bear, whispering, I hope it's candy. The attic door creaked loudly as they pushed it open. Dust floated in the sunlight that came through a tiny round window. Boxes were stacked high, old books leaned dangerously from shelves, and in the far corner stood a giant wooden trunk with brass locks, its surface covered in scratches and carvings. What's in there? Ethan asked, pointing. Mr. Johnson raised his eyebrows. I don't know. That trunk was already here when we bought the house. I've never opened it. The family crowded around. Mrs. Johnson brushed off the dust. Well, let's see if it still opens. To everyone's surprise, the lock was loose. With a loud click, the trunk creaked open. Inside were things they didn't expect. Old letters tied with ribbon, faded photographs, and strange little objects. A pocket watch, a child's shoe, and a diary bound in cracked leather. This feels like someone's life packed into a box, whispered Mrs. Johnson. Ethan carefully picked up the diary. Can I read it? His mom hesitated, then nodded. Go ahead, but be gentle, it's old. The diary belonged to a girl named Clara, who had lived in the same house nearly 100 years ago. The first page was shaky but clear. This attic is my secret world. When I feel lonely, I come here. I keep my dreams safe in this diary. Maybe someday someone will find them. Ethan and Lily's eyes widened. A girl who had lived in their house? A secret attic world? This was better than treasure. They spent hours reading. Clara wrote about her days, how she loved drawing, how she cared for her little brother, and how the world outside sometimes felt too big and scary. She dreamed of being a teacher one day, but as the pages went on, her words grew sadder. Mama is sick. Papa is always worried. I try to make my brother laugh, but the house feels heavy. Lily hugged her teddy tighter. Poor Clara, she whispered. At the very end of the diary, one line stood alone. If anyone finds this, promise me you'll remember. Family is the treasure you must never lose. The Johnson family sat in silence. Even Ethan, who usually made jokes, was quiet. Finally, Mr. Johnson said, looks like we did find treasure. Not gold or jewels, but someone's memories. And a message. For the next week, the family couldn't stop talking about Clara. Lily drew pictures of her, trying to imagine what she looked like. Ethan pretended the attic was now a time travel portal, and Mrs. Johnson carefully placed the diary and objects back in the trunk, covering them with soft cloth. But something had changed in the family. One evening, after a long day, Mr. Johnson came home tired and stressed. Normally, he would sit with his phone while the kids watched TV. But that night, he looked at them and said, let's go upstairs to the attic. Family story time. So they gathered around the old trunk again. Ethan read parts of Clara's diary out loud while Lily acted out the scenes dramatically. They laughed, they talked, and slowly, the attic became more than just a dusty space. It became a place of connection. Soon, it became a tradition. Every Saturday night, the Johnsons went to the attic. Sometimes they read Clara's diary. Sometimes they told their own stories. Sometimes they just sat there together, listening to the wind outside. Weeks later, as Ethan was falling asleep, he asked his mom, do you think Clara would be happy knowing we're reading her words? Mrs. Johnson smiled, brushing his hair back. I think she'd be very happy. She wanted her dreams remembered, and we are keeping them alive. Ethan thought about the last line of the diary. Family is the treasure you must never lose. He hugged his little sister goodnight and whispered, don't worry, Lily. We'll never lose our treasure. Lesson. The story of the attic taught the Johnsons, and us, that real treasures aren't gold, jewels, or secrets hidden in trunks. They are the moments we share with our families, the memories we build together, and the love that binds us through generations. No matter how old the house, how dusty the attic, or how tough life feels, family is the treasure we must never lose.